Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about AA. We're first going to go over controls, then we're going to go over units, and then we're going to go over some tactics. It's going to be a total overview. It'll have the bookmarks for you to see all this stuff. Anyway, let's get into it. First thing off is controls. When you're using AA in general, this is the biggest mistake. People should hotkey all AA, especially radar AA, just because it can be seeded. If you don't know what seed is, obviously seed is just aircraft that lock onto your radar signature and then fire a missile at you, killing your AA piece. So let's take this example. We have an F-16C coming in from myself, coming in to kill some of the Tors, which are pretty strong AA pieces. They have radar, and what you want to do here is you want a control group. So you just push control 1 or control 2 and 3 and 4 and so on. And anytime you push 1 from then on, it'll select these guys. All right, and what you do then is when the AA is not being used or you know there's C coming in, you push the control group 1 on your keyboard, you select them, and then what you do is you push H to turn their weapons off. You turn the weapons off with this little emblem right here. This is active radar. You turn that off, it will not be seated anymore, but it won't fire. That's the thing. The pros are it won't fire, but it will not be seated. All right, I just want to go over the controls a little bit more in depth. So you have 3 radar pieces here. We got 3 Cubs. These are long-range AA pieces. The thing is the Cubs, right, is what you do is you just go control and control 1. All right, so now these guys are in a control group. When I click on this SPW right here, I just click 1 on my keyboard, I immediately grab them all. And you can tab through them individually too as well. But the moment you do this though, is you want to, so let's say a seed's coming in. You got a seed coming in, you're like, oh man, got to turn off that radar. You just push H when you control them. Now all radar is off, and that little indicator right here will tell you that they're off. See that little indicator? Now they're back on, off, on, and this will show for enemy units as well. So you can know when enemy AA or pieces are on and off. So this is something to pay attention to immensely. If you don't, you're going to lose your AA pieces. Before we go over all the units, what their pros are, their cons are, and so on, we need to go over the different types of AA and how you actually find out what they are. So there are 4 types. The first one is kind of the weird one. Nothing. They have no guidance system. The next 3 are very clear. For example, radar. Radar tend to have longer range, better accuracy, but they are vulnerable to seed. So you got to be careful of that. And the way to counter that is turn off your missiles in radar so that it can't be seated, and then you turn them on when necessary. That does get hard though, and it is micro intensive, and you make mistakes and you lose key AA assets. The alternative is to infrared or fire and forget missiles. Fire and forget missiles in general have less range, but they can never be seated, which is amazing. So that is a pro of these systems. And then the next system, last system, is going to be in manual guidance, meaning that whatever it fires, it has to maintain eyes on target. If it doesn't, it will derp out the missile. Even if it splits for a second and loses line of sight, the missile will derp out and the system won't work. Now we're going to go through every single piece of AA in the game. All right. There's 62 so far in the game. Some of them are duplicates. Some of them are like just Cubs from East Germany versus the Soviet Union. No differences, but there's going to be a lot more in the future. So probably will be future guides, but let's just go through what is a take and a non-take, and also how do you utilize them. Cubs are what's up first. These are in almost every deck. They're in 4th, 7th, Berlin Command, 39th, and 79th. So they're all over the place. I believe they're a worthwhile unit always to really take. And the thing is with these things, you have to take them in pairs of 2. They'll one-shot light aircraft. They'll kill them one shot. However, any normal aircraft like an F-15 or a big bomber or anything like that, Tornado, you're going to want 2 of these because it takes 2 hits to get a kill. And you're unlikely to get and it's only got 45% accuracy. So you're unlikely to get the kill by just 1 shot with one of them. So you always want to pair them up. You can also pair them up with SPAA. These are gun AA, because if you get 1 hit in, they're probably going to be on 1 health or like 2 health, and those can mop them up. So this unit is a must take, I think, in my opinion. The best AA piece that I love, arguably in the game, is the Buck. This is a must take in every single deck. If it's in it, you take it. It comes in 6 and also comes in KDA. The pros of this is the range. Let's just compare it to the Cub. Cub aircraft is 5,300. This thing has 6,000. And the Cub is one of the longest range AA pieces in the game. Relative to like Estrella, that only has 2,600 range. This has more than double its range. So super effective. And this is one of the few pieces that can actually shoot down aircraft before it drops its payload. Again though, it's something that usually will one-shot light aircraft and medium aircraft, but heavy aircraft, Tornadoes, F-15s, Strike Eagles, all those type of things, this is going to require another piece of AA. So it's either good to keep these 2 in pairs. 2 pairs will dominate and airspace. No aircraft can enter it, and it'll probably guarantee a kill, because between the 2 shots they fire each when an aircraft comes in vicinity, between 2 of them, that's 4 missiles in total being fired, you're going to hit at least 2 missiles onto that target. This is a must take it every single time. Already have a Cub. We've already gone over it. Afghanis, these 2 SPAs, we're just going to go over both these. These are garbage. Don't ever take them ever in your deck. They do not do anything. If you're looking to use these to kill Apaches, for example, no. You're going to get outranged by the ATGM. You're not going to stun it. The ATGM will hit you and kill you every single time. These things are garbage. Not good. Don't recommend them at all. They come in a lot of decks, but I would ignore them. Tunguskas are a must-take unit. This is one of the most unique units in the entire game because it has 2 AA systems on board. It has the infrared missile system, and it also has the radar system, which is interesting. That radar system is the gun. So the pros of this unit is, 1, it's a helo annihilator, just an annihilator. If a helo comes into range, has a missile being fired at the same time as its anti-aircraft comes firing on it at the same time. Pretty much will just kill every single one. I do always, when you go against Apaches though, I recommend you take the most advantageous position. I would not do a 1-on-1 in the open engagement with a Tunguska. I would, yeah, it should be a 2v1 if you're going to go in the open. If you get really up close to it to force something like that, then yeah, this thing will annihilate the Apache. But if you have to go in the open and do this, you're going to get smoked, and don't be like surprised. But the best thing about this unit is you can turn off its weapon system. You can turn off the radar and infrared. So what you do is, like, let's say someone has a lot of seed, just leave the missiles on, which are infrared, and turn off the radar. So you still have AA piece, which has more range than your Strela, right? So it's pretty strong. This is a really good AA piece. It's a must take. So, and turn off your radar if there's a lot of seed, and just hotkey them to do so. Now, other AA piece. These things are not very good. 25 points. They're okay against killing helos. They're really slow, unmaneuverable. I don't recommend them. Same with these as well. I don't really recommend them. There's a few situations where you can like utilize these, but again, in general, if you're 11E in Berlin Command, you have a lot better options of AA with Mistrals and Stingers and Javelins and so on. Don't recommend them. All right, the Tor is something we got to talk about. This thing is compared a lot to the OSHA. The OSHA being this AA piece. A lot of talk. So the difference between the two, they have almost the same missile system. They're not exactly the same. But the difference is this thing is top fire. So it fires up and then the missile goes. It doesn't like directly fire at the target. What's really strong about this is you can shoot helos over forest lines. So you like normally an AA piece has to get direct line of sight, right? But this thing can actually shoot over things, which is really strong against helos. This thing is a helo annihilator, and that's really good rate of fire as well. That's what's really good. For aircraft, it's arguably a little bit worse. And the problem with the Tor in general is that the missiles take a little longer to go up and then go at the target. And a lot of times faster aircraft can sneak out of this range. So keep that in mind when you're utilizing this thing. I've seen a lot of guys complain about it. You want to the solution to the problem is to make sure the Tor is in a position where the plane is going to turn into it instead of like going to directly fly over it. Like I know it's kind of weird to explain, but that is the best way to utilize this AA piece. Otherwise, it's just not as good as other pieces. Strela, we'll go over all the Strela classes here. There's 3 of them. Actually, no, there's 5 of them right here. So Strela in general all have about between 2600 range and we'll go over it. So Strela 1, these things are okay. You're in 35th, 39th. Do not take them in 39th. There's way better options. This thing's not very good in general. It has 4 rounds. It'll pretty much miss most of its rounds. If it goes against an Apache or anything like that, it won't kill it. If you're trying to go against against a really fast aircraft, it definitely won't kill it either. I really don't think these are really useful at all. Strela 10M, way better unit. I actually recommend you bring these. If you spam these out in good quantities, they have okay range against aircraft and helos. Better against helos actually than they have aircraft. They actually have more range. But mask these up. If you're going to go against an Apache or some type of ATGM helo, definitely want 2 or 3 in the engagement. You do not want to do one-on-one. You will lose one-on-one engagements with any type of sufficient helos. If you miss the first shot, you're dead. Even if you get the hit on the first shot, you may still die. Strela 10M are just a better version of the Strela MTLBs. These come in 27th though, unique only in 27th so far. And what makes them better is the range. They have better accuracy too. They have great range against helos. They are a little bit better against them. They have also got good range against helos. 10Ms are a must take in 27th. If you don't take them, you're just not doing it right. They're great. Recommend them. Always bring them. Same with the OSHAs. OSHAs come in 39th and 79th. These are also must takes, and they also come in KDA. Two different variants. One is amphibious. Well, both are amphibious. Yeah, both are amphibious. They have identical stats though in every way. They just look a little different. They're really good in pairs of 2-3s. Threes will shoot down every aircraft in the game. You don't keep them in pairs of threes, you're not gonna get that many kills. Also, they're fairly decent against helos. However, again, you're gonna want to pair them in groups of threes against Apaches. This thing is all about these three, or both these OSHAs are pairs of threes. Keep them pairs of threes, you will do great. All right, do not use them as a one AA piece by itself. It will not be sufficient to shoot down anything. 3 of these will kill everything, but no. And they'll pay for themselves. Like, you put 3 out there, definitely going to pay. Those 3 will definitely pay for themselves, even though they're 135 points a pop. Definitely worth bringing. Here is the 10M. This is not the 10M3. This one is just a Strela. These are just the same 2 Strelas. Just this one has more range. Again, same thing with these. They're just another variant of it, the German variant with 4th and 7th. They're really good. I recommend bringing them in general. They have decent range, but you want to use like 3 or 4 of them to really lock down an area. Here's a Strela 1. This thing sucks. I don't like it. Not very good. 4 rounds. Again, just same issue with the other Strela 1. Terrible. No, this is a Vulcan gun from the Americans. This thing's terrible. I would never bring it. It can get seated. Okay, so this is a problem. It can get seated. It's radar. It's slow. It can't maneuver. And RD is going to come for you immediately. So do not bring the Vulcan 20 mil. The Avenger, on the other hand, is a piece that's worth. It comes only in 82nd Airborne. It's really strong. It's got 16 rounds. But if you're going to go against a better helo with missiles, ATGMs, I recommend, again, you do 2 or 3 of these and not take the one-on-one engagements. One-on-one engagements, you will most likely lose, sadly. Especially if you're going against, yeah, MI-24 or something like that with ATGMs, you will die. Now, we're going to get some lighter AA here now. Stingers are always a must-take. All variants of them. Even the National Guard are okay to take. They're not the greatest, but yeah, standard Stingers are great. 55% accuracy. They are the second best infantry AA piece in the game. They only get beat by the French Mistrals, but in general, they're just a must-take. You can vet them up a little bit if you want, given that 60% accuracy. 60% accuracy with AA is extraordinarily good. You have these. You only have 4 missiles. Nothing to speak of. This is super risky. I would not, in general, buy these. Honestly, they're one-shotted by pretty much every single piece of light AA in the entire game. They only have 4 rounds. They miss a lot, and I just the Russian equivalents too are just way better. I just wouldn't bring them. Here's an SBAA. Again, I'm against this type of SBA. It's expensive. It's radar. It's gonna get sniped immediately. This thing is not very good at all. I just would not bring this thing. This is, especially in 5e. You have other options that are significantly better in 5e. Javelins are good. This thing though sucks. Don't bring this thing. It's 25% accuracy. It is a worthless unit. It's 10 points. It is garbage. You're just wasting 10 points, and you're spending 20 points on transport. So it's just don't even bother buying this thing. Javelins though, strong. They come in first, second in Berlin Command. This thing is nasty. Recommended always. I really enjoy it. I take sometimes I take them double vet, giving them an extra 5% accuracy, giving them 60%. These are pretty good. Not as good as Stinger. And I don't know, maybe they're a little bit better. I don't know. Yeah, they're not as good, and they're not good as a Mistral. But definitely you have to take them in these decks to fill up what you got. This thing, garbage. Don't bring it. It's literally from just terrible. This thing, garbage. Don't take it. It will never do anything. Won't shoot anything down. And most helos will actually beat it. Bofors, this is literally from World War II. This is a modern game. Don't bring it. It's garbage. Now, Iglas. Now, there's 2 Igla types. You can see the groups. There's groups of 4. Group 3, group of 3 here. You have, and you can see the difference here. Iglas have, wait. Did I mess this up? These are different, right? Yeah, sorry, I'm messing up. Sorry. These Igla are the same. The Iglas are pretty good. You should just take them in general. They're only 40 points. They have 50% accuracy. They had 6 rounds. But just a standard, AA piece. The problem with them is there's also Strela that some of the Eastern Bloc get. The Strela 2M are garbage. All right? These things are garbage. 35% accuracy. You aren't hitting anything. The only time you can take this deck, I take them in 4th, is when you triple vet them. You can get them up to like 50%, 45% accuracy, and like 3 or 4 of them have to be together to hit anything sufficiently. You need to fully vet these units. They will not hit anything. The Strela 2Ms, garbage. You have to. It's the same story with the Flagerfaust. These aren't triple vetted. They're garbage. 35% accuracy. They will not hit anything. Terrible range. Everything. They even have worse range than the Charlotte 2M AAP. So no. Now the Gaz ZU-23-2. These things are amazing. They're in 35th. They're fast. They kill helos. You need to keep them in pairs of 2s, and these pairs of 2s will shoot down every single helo in the game. No problem. No issue. Don't do them in pairs of 1. People, I see a lot of guys, they only buy 1 and then they'll get overwhelmed by a helo sometimes. So you need to have 2 to make sure you get the guaranteed kill and walk away A-okay. You can also bring these as well in 35th. However, not really recommended. Why bring this one? You can bring the mobile one. So that's kind of my situation. And this one's just the non-airborne version, which is pretty good, but I don't think it's necessary in 27th whatsoever. Now we're getting to some of the better AA here. Rolling 3, some of the best AA in the game. Again, these are pairs of 2s always. You must keep these in pairs of 2s or rolling 3s. They are radar though, and the difference between the rolling 2 and rolling 3 is one's radar, one is not, and you have way less range and accuracy with the rolling 2. You can put rolling 2s all over the place. You need like 3 or 4 of them to really lock down a location and guarantee kills on every single aircraft. The rolling 3s, like 2 of them, man, 70-80% of the time aircraft comes in the vicinity, they will die. You get a 3rd one out there, guarantee kills every single time. FLA, garbage, never bring it. 70 points of nothingness and waste. FLA, Shika, garbage, worth nothing and waste of points. ZU, whatever this thing is, this abomination of a piece, is also garbage. Never ever take it. The Flax, these things are good. These things are hecka good. And you'd be surprised. They're not good against aircraft. They will not shoot down any aircraft. Don't even expect it. I mean, unless it's like a Harrier and super slow, something really slow. But maybe also a A10. But generally, these things are really strong against helos. They're really cost efficient for 30 points. Something I actually do recommend, because these actually put down pretty good firepower, and they'll actually mess up infantry squads. And these things are just preferable, I think, till this is the only infantry AA that I bring. And you want to make sure you never sell them. You just tell the vehicle to stay there, right? By turning it off and turning off auto sale, and then you just get them back in their vehicle and they need to move. These things are garbage. Again, I don't bring AA helos like these. These things have to go against helos. So the problem is with these helos, these light helos with AA, is they have to go against Mi-24s with AA that can take 2 rounds of missiles, while you can only take 1 round. So in those engagements, you're going to lose most of the time, and this engagement is going to be bad for you. Gepards are a must-take. This is one of the few SBAA pieces that are good. Things will annihilate aircraft, though they should always be paired with at least 1 roll-in. Either rolling 2 or rolling 3. They're really good against helos as well. It's one of the best. They actually do stun effectively. These are one of the few AA pieces that stuns all the time. So I do recommend bringing these. So again, if you're going against a patch, you should have Mi-24 elites. You should have 2 of them at least. You're not going to win that one-on-one engagement. But yeah. IHawks. There's going to be some controversy about this. I love IHawks. IHawks are really good. However, IHawks, like all missile AA, should be paired in 2s. Like this should be paired in 2. These are heavy AA missiles. You need 2. You'll make it hit one hidden, but you may not get the rest. So, and these are a must take, honestly, in all decks. The good thing about these things is actually they're one of the few pieces that have enough range again. Besides, it has a little bit less range than the Buck, but it's got enough range where it can shoot down, plenty of aircraft before they even drop the payload. So these things are pretty good. What I like to do in a lot of these decks, they have Gepards. So you'll put 1 IHawk with some Gepards, and you'll pretty much shoot down everything. And put some leaders next to them, so you get that 60% accuracy when you just have a leader not doing anything. That's what I do. Javelins, these things are okay. They're really good for static defense. The problem is they're pretty expensive, get good accuracy, and they put down a lot of firepower. They're slow as heck though, and they're really they just get focused fire of artillery so easily. PVADs, the 2 variants of PVADs. This one, not worth taking at all. It's garbage. Don't take it. This PVAD, I am anti-PVAD. PVADs let me down too many times. They can get seated. They lose to infantry. They don't really put out that much firepower in general. They're just not good. I just don't recommend them. Chaps are a must take in every deck. If there's a chap, take all of them. Chaps are so good. They're infrared. They have crazy range. They're probably one of the best cost efficient AA pieces in the game. 3 of them will shoot down everything that flies over you. 2 of them, you'll get, I don't know, 70% of the time you'll shoot down whatever flies over you. But 3 of these things will annihilate everything. The problem with them is helos, they have a little bit more rough time. I would recommend using at least 2 in every engagement to make sure you never get messed up. Now I go over to French bias, the Mistrals. Mistrals are heck OP. My god, they're broken. The yeah, everything about them is nasty. It's more accuracy, more range than all the other like AA pieces that are infantry, and they're just a must take. If there's a Mistral area, you take them. Just take them every time. They're super good. These things are. This one sucks. Don't bring this one. The Rapier FSA. Bring the B. If you're gonna bring one, you're gonna bring the FSB1. They're in the same deck. There's no reason to bring the worst one. These guys have 65% accuracy, pretty good range, though they are radar, so people can see you, so you got to be attention to that. Also, you should always keep their vehicle next to them. Don't sell it, because you need to transport this thing around in the event the game goes on. Again, just some more rolling 3s, rolling 2s from the French. Let's make sure they don't get any more French bias with the other roll-ins. No, they are the same, thank God. Track rapiers are okay. It's just one of the... you have manual guidance on board this one, so you have to maintain line of sight. So these guys have to make sure when you put these guys out there, you have to maintain line of sight in the aircraft. They can't lose. They're not fire and forget. They have to continuously maintain line of sight. So that's something you got to think about when you're positioning these type of AA pieces. Now this one, not good. Don't bring it. It's too slow. Doesn't get to the front. I don't recommend bringing this ever. Though I do recommend bringing this one, which is just a 20 mil, but this time it's airborne deployment. This thing denies helo rushes. 2 of these will kill any helo. You should bring them in pairs of 2s, and they'll just shoot down every helo. They'll keep it stunned instant forever, and they'll die. So 2 pairs of 2s always with these 2. If you pair on pair of 1, there's a chance you'll get stunned and then killed by the helo. So pairs of 2s. These things are really good. They're not too good against aircraft, though. They won't do anything like that. But these are, I think, a must take in the 2 decks that they come in. These things are okay. They're pretty expensive. They're Mistrals, but on a truck. But I don't really recommend them in general. I don't think they're that good. So yeah, that's my position on all of that. Anyway, this is all the AA. Now let's go over some of the tactics, how you maneuver and everything, and I'll see you there. Now, another thing you want to do with your AA pieces in general is keep a commander by. So a lot of times you'll cap a point, whatever, cap one of these. And you got a CV there, he's not doing anything. Can't move up yet, the fighting's going on, and so on. So just move him back and give this cub an extra 5% accuracy, this is 45% base, now it's 5%. That will make a big difference. When units get to that 50% threshold, it's a big difference. You should definitely do this all the time with extra CVs that aren't doing anything. Vet AA first before anything. Another thing to note. Most missile AA, for example, like Cubs or Bucks or Ihawks, require significant amount of ammo. At all times, there should be an ammo truck next to them. These guys only have 3 rounds here. So always keep an ammo truck nearby to immediately rearm them, because missing out on an aircraft kill is huge in a game. Aircraft are expensive, and getting the kill is massive to damage the other team. Another thing too is you got to know what AA you to bring to kill things. For example, Cubs are long-range killers for aircraft. They're meant for it. They're not meant to kill healers. They have slow area to fire. They're not going to do it. It's better to always bring the units that are appropriate. So you should just kind of bring like about 3 different types. You should kind of bring your CQC AA, which are going to be your infantry AA. They can sneak up forward, and if they die, it's no big deal. Right? They can go up immediately. Next type of AA is going to be your like kind of medium AA that's also designed to kill aircraft as well, but also it's really effective against helos. And that's going to be like something like the Strela, Chaps, and so on. So that's the thing. You want to use these guys to like sneak into units and buildings and so on, get into those key positions, and use these guys to kill the helos. You have to be very desperate to utilize a Cub or some big piece of AA to kill a helo, because it's super risky. A Cub to this right now, this thing's going to fire an ATGM. If it one hits you, you're dead. You may get a hit on him, and he still may not be dead. So you do not want to take those engagements whatsoever. So you gotta watch out about CD aircraft. So I have a great clip to how to deal with it in general. You want to make sure you turn it off, your AA radar, and then turn it on the right moment. So here is a clip of how to do it. And we'll see this player come in here. This is how it's supposed to be done. He comes in, turns off his AA on me, so I can't fire him. Now then he turns it on the moment I turn away. This is what you're supposed to do. Turn it on the moment the guy turns off on you. I get away luckily there, but that is the principle right there. He turns it off again to keep it off, and he has it hotkeyed immediately, so any type of seed. Scar's coming in here for a seed as well, his own F-16. And we see the Taurus running away here. Radar off though, so the seed is going to be completely useless here. Completely. Not going to do anything. He's going to turn it on By mistake, he got too close. Luckily, he gets away with it. But now that he's turning out, then the C turns back on. Sorry, the A turns back on these cubs and everything, and he takes them out. And that's about it, everybody. If you have any additional questions, just leave a comment. You guys think there's other tips that should be added, let me know. Hopefully this was helpful in some regard. Anyway, thanks for watching. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll try to make some more guides.